Hi, everybody. This is Steve Hoggard, the pastor of Hickory Hill Baptist Church. Today is the thought of the week, and I want to share a quick video, just a thought. Last week of February, and a week before, we had real cold weather. It snowed. I don't know how many inches it snowed, but it snowed quite a bit. Well, this past Sunday, we had church. We canceled church twice, and so this Sunday we went to church. I'm glad everyone came out. But as I was coming home from church, I was just walking, and I slipped and fell, and I laugh at my wife all the time because she takes baby steps on the ice and the snow, and she's afraid of falling, and I really don't think about it. I just get out and go, and I almost fell 3 times. I said one time I caught myself on a car, and being 50-something plus years old, when you hit the ground, it's not a pleasant. It takes forever to heal up. But it made me think about something. Many times we think that we're good and we're have great footing and everything is all right. In fact, 1 Corinthians 10:12 says this. Paul says, "If you think you're standing firm, be careful that you do not fall." And that was me. Man, I was just doing great, walking on the ice and the snow and everything was great, but I didn't consider the chance of me falling. This verse, Paul says, if you think you're standing firm, be careful that you don't fall. And actually, the context he's talking about the back in the Old Testament. Verse 11 of 1 Corinthians 10 says this: "These things happened to them as examples, as were written down as warning for us on our own fulfillment of the ages has come." So what Paul says, he says, guys, remember back then in the Old Testament, their examples of their life, it was written down to make us realize that we're not as secure footing as we think we are. We may think that we are great and everything's going great, but we could fall real easily. In fact, sometimes we think we got it. I got this. And sometimes you may call that pride or whatever you want to call it. But in fact, Proverbs says pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. That's Proverbs 16:18. So sometimes we think we got it, everything's under control, but we need to be careful and be more God-reliant than self-reliant. It's basically what I'm getting at. A definition of a Christian or a believer is someone who is God-reliant, not self-reliant. Over the years, I've had believers tell me, people that go to church, says, God helps those who help themselves. Man, that's a great, I wouldn't say a word because it's not from the word. It's a great thought. But God does not want us to be self-reliant. He wants us to be God-reliant, relying on Him. I remember I dealt with one of my family members, and they told me, well, God wants me to be happy. Sure, God likes for you to be happy. He wants you to have joy. But because your sinful activity, God doesn't say okay to that. You need to be obedient to Him. God stresses obedience more than He does sacrifice. So here's just my thought, real quick thought, and hopefully you can chew on it this week. Be very careful how you walk. Be very careful that you don't get stubborn and self-reliant. Instead, be God-reliant. Rely on Him, and you won't fall that way. Hey, I'll talk to you later. Have a good week.